Hello and welcome back to Student Central and live on Ram Air 1350 AM, back to Hustings 2011, the final part of the second session, and very shortly we will be going to the Hustings for the Sports and Societies Officer and the candidate standing for that position. Before we get on with all the blurb and of course the opening speeches, can I please remind everyone that if they want to ask a question to the candidates for Sports and Societies Officer, they will need to get them in by the time they have finished their opening speeches. That's both here in Student Central to Michael or to studio@ramair.co.uk by email, just because of the sheer volume of questions we have to ask to the candidates. So, Sports and Societies Officer, what is the Sports and Society Officer required to do? Sports and Society Officer is responsible for all student sports and societies issues within the union. This includes being the head of sports clubs through the Athletics Association, societies through the Societies Federation. This includes budgeting, day-to-day activities and working closely with the departmental coordinators and administrators to ensure the smooth running of sports and societies on and off campus. Like all positions, you can vote from midnight tonight via ubuonline.co.uk/elections, as well as the hustings for all the candidates tonight. You can, of course, listen back to yesterday's, check out their manifestos online on the website, and, of course, pick up a manifesto booklet if you are here in Student Central. So just another reminder, once we've finished the opening speeches for all the candidates, that will be it for question submission. Right, standing for the position of Sports and Societies Officer in elections 2011 are the following candidates: John Carter, Ravish Vetalanu and William Priya Obubu, and of course Ron reopen nominations. If those candidates could come to the front now and we can get the final part underway. This is a hello to all the listeners on Ram Air 1350M and to everyone in Student Central. Hope you've been enjoying the hustings so far. You'll be able to hear them back again between your iPod if you really want to later. Of course, you can check out YouTube videos and all sorts. As with all the other sabbatical positions that we have done, it's a 2-minute opening speech, then questions to all the candidates, and finally a 1-minute summation. So we're going to do the opening speeches in the order of the ballot paper. So that's John Carter is up first. John, your opening speech of 2 minutes starts now.
Oh, hi guys. As Phil said, my name's John. I'm a final year student here, which means I've been here for 4 years because I'm an archaeologist. Yeah, I'm running for Sports and Societies. While I've been here, my life has been changed by being a member of different sports and societies at this university. It's been a fantastic experience. I love being here. I want to stay here and help you guys. I've been with the sports and societies since I started. I've also been an exec basically since I started here. I was an exec for rowing for my first 2 years, and I'm exec for Bosom now, who are rehearsing just over there. Yeah, I've got lots of experience with sports and societies. I know how things run. I'd be a good candidate because I've been here for so long, and last year I was on my placement year for my course, and spent a lot of time working in industry. I know how officers work. I've worked in that environment before. I've also done a lot of outreach programs with that job, so I'm aiming to get everyone together, getting all the sports societies working with everybody else, trying to make a more united university. While I'm in office, I plan to start a part of the budget which is specifically set aside for health and safety issues. If a society needs more money for equipment, stuff that's going to get them more members, but they need because it's a health issue, they'd have it. I'd also plan to come out and see each and every sport and society. I want to hear what you want us to do. That's my pledge. Thank you.
Okay, that was the opening speech there for candidate John Carter for the position of Sports and Societies Officer. Next person to speak with their opening speech is Ravish Vetalanu. Your 2-minute opening speech starts now.
Hi guys, I'm Ravish. Most of you know me. For those that don't, I've been part of the union for the past 4 years. I've led a lot of clubs and societies during this time. I've actually brought some of them from out of obscurity and got them high enough to win some Colours Awards. I've won an award for commitment and devotion to sports, and if elected, I plan to bring all of this to you guys and all this commitment. Now, including in this is the whole getting away from the whole idea of Team Bradford, which was just an idea. Let's make it reality. Team Bradford is supposed to be about clubs and society together and about sports appreciation. We all know how important it is to have support at home games, it could potentially win you the game. Now, this won't only help clubs get more notice and more help at home games, it will also hopefully encourage other people to join your sport because it will be more noticed. Also, this will help societies as well, because I'm going to try to get them involved both in sport and all the sports clubs supporting the societies. It's about having a united union, about all of us working together. All societies are important as well. Just because they don't compete, it doesn't mean they don't need attention and they're not representing the university. So I want to bring Team Bradford. I want to bring Team Bradford to the university as the idea of being a strong and united union. Thank you.
Okay, that was the opening speech there for Sports and Society Officer candidate Raresh Vetelanu. The third person to speak, it's the opening speech there for candidate William Priya Abubo. Your 2-minute opening speech starts now.
Hi, good evening, folks. My name is William Priya Abubo. I'm third year in politics and law. I'm running for this position because I believe I've got the passion, I've got the desire to be a Sports and Society Officer. I'll briefly talk about my experiences. I used to be president of the ACS a few years ago, and then I was co-founder and secretary of the HIV Awareness Society Red Ribbon. I'm currently the secretary of the Bradford Bears American football team, communications officer of the Athletics Association, and the international students officer. And I believe these qualities have got put me in the right stead to be a Sports and Society Officer. I also look to make sure that I would significantly reduce the waiting time that sports or societies get when they come into the reception, because I've seen it first-hand experience that you go in there and then you kind of have to wait a few days or weeks before you get an answer, and I make sure that I would be able to get you your answers as soon as possible.
1 minute.
I also believe that, as Raresh said, Team Bradford is something that's very important. The support for sports or societies and the immediate attention that sports and societies require, because it does make a difference when you know that your home crowd is supporting you, either as a society or sports, and I believe that I could do that for you. Thank you.
Okay, that was the opening speech there for Sports and Society Officer candidate William Priya Abubo. You've heard there the opening speeches for all the candidates for the position of Sports and Societies Officer. They were John Carter, Raresh Vetelanu and William Priya Abubo, and of course Ron reopened nominations. Right, we have a lot of questions for the candidates for Sports and Societies Officer. They're now closed for submission of questions. We'll go and check any from Rama in a moment. That's via studio@rama.co.uk. Because of the sheer volume of questions, we're going to do the 30-second limit on all of them, so we can get through. So if you could keep your answers concise and straight to the point, please. Right, the first question is going to be, what leadership experience do you have that could help you in this role? And John, if you could start with that one, please.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I've been president of Bosom for this year. We're currently putting on a fantastic show. I'm directing that as well. We've also put on other shows in the past. I've been involved in all of those. I also, as I said earlier, spent a year out working in industry as part of my placement year, where I ran my own project as part of that, and it went very successfully. If anyone knows, I worked with the Bradford Bulls and the Football Association, doing some really interesting work. That's pretty much it.
And Raresh?
Yeah, I've been secretary, president, web officer and armourer for a lot of different clubs and societies. I've also been leading of a lot of different projects at university, including positions that required me to liaise with proper real clients. I've liaised with companies ranging from the BBC to local companies, so I've got plenty of experience working with people and trying to get stuff done. Thank you.
Okay, and William, if you could answer that question, please.
I used to be president of the ACS. I used to be president of the ACS. As co-founder of Red Ribbon, I also had to be spokesperson for Red Ribbon when we had a march planned for city centre. So I had to be a spokesperson down at the council meeting with fire marshals, city centre planning council. Secretary of the Bradford Bears, I had to step in as acting president as well. So I believe all these positions that I've taken part in have been well equipped for these for that leadership qualities. Thank you.
Okay, the next question for candidates for Sports and Science Officer. Sport has a very low profile at Bradford. What do you plan to do to raise this profile? Raresh, if you could start that one, please.
Hi, yeah. Well, I've talked about this in my opening speech. I plan to bring sports appreciations to clubs, which basically means advertising all the sports, most importantly, during home matches. People don't know who's playing on what day or where they're playing. We have to make this obvious for people. So, for example, if they walk in here in Student Central, they'll see, okay, today we've got this sports playing and where. And it will also attract people to come and support you guys, which we know is important, and then also bring other people maybe attracted to your sport.
Okay, thank you. And William, if you could answer that question, please. The question was, sport has a very low profile at Bradford. What do you plan to do to raise this profile?
Well, first things first, I believe that Team Bradford needs to evolve from just being an idea to actual reality, and I was part of the think tank of getting these scarves to say Team Bradford for all sports and societies. Basically, that presence of a scarf is just the little bit that you need, and the people start getting involved with it, and you also get the media side of it, that way that everyone knows what's happening. Thank you very much.
And John, please.
I think, as Raresh said, getting advertising up in here, making the communal areas of the university acknowledge that we've got sports and we have events on, that's the way of going about it. Letting people know, maybe look bigger and better colours events and recruiting, advertisement, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. The School of Health Studies is moving over this coming year. Many of the students do not know about most of the societies and sports and events going on. What are you going to do to make sure they are more involved? William, could you answer that firstly, please?
It's pretty much working with the media side of the media SAB, the media announcement officer. If we could work with the media announcement officer and all other SABs, obviously, but media announcement officer to make sure that the School of Health Studies understand that the website is there for them to get on access to, and then they could get involved with us. And then we also go out there. If the scarves are also in high visibility, then people get involved by knowing that there's teams and societies around that they could get involved with. Thank you very much.
Okay, and John, please, could you answer that question?
Yeah, first off, the big point is bring them in. Advertise to them, go out there and talk to them, maybe get the management and lecturers over there to talk about it, and a really big recruitment fair at the beginning of the year.
Okay, and Raresh.
Yeah, now that they're back on campus, it's probably going to be a lot more important for us to have a really good opening week, and obviously Freshers Fair, because they're all going to be on campus going, finding out where their buildings are, and they will see signs, okay, Freshers Fair, and they will go to see what's going on there. So we're advertising there, and they will be attracted to sports that way. And also the amount of advertising that we'll have to do with both media areas and flyers, posters, scarves, like William said, will definitely attract them to sports.
Okay, thank you. Right, the next question is, what is your greatest flaw? And John, could you start that one, please?
I have some... hard question. I work very hard. I tend to focus on one project. Hopefully that'll stand me in good stead with this kind of job, but I know I need to learn to branch out, look at things on a bigger perspective, try not to focus in on stuff. So that's my flaw. I'll work on it.
Okay, and Raresh, please.
Oh, very tough question. To be perfectly honest with everybody and with myself, I'd have to say that I'm too much of a romantic, which can get in the way of a lot of stuff, both work-related and non-work-related. So, yeah, I think that's my biggest flaw, really.
And William, please.
It's funny, because my greatest flaws happen to also be my strength, is that I'm a perfectionist. So I go deep into something and then realise, oh, I need to do other stuff. So, yeah, I'm a perfectionist. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was a question to answers to what is your greatest flaw. My greatest flaw, of course, is menswear at Marks and Spencer's, which brings me on to the next question. What is your favourite item of Phil's attire? I don't know. Ramesh, would you like to start? And remember, I've got control of all the mics.
Yes, let's see. Looking at you, depends. Favorite item of your attire? I don't know. Maybe the beard. I think it's part of your attire. It just gives you a little bit of a character, I think.
Okay, thank you, Ramesh. And William.
I'll probably go with the skinny t-shirt.
Thank you for the wolf whistle. And that wasn't from William, by the way. Just John.
Well, like William, I'm going to have to say the T-shirt, but because it's telling you guys to vote, which is the most important thing, getting democracy going in this university is so important.
I would like to point out this it is actually a large, even though it looks like it's a medium. But anyway, right, let's go on to some more serious questions. How will you work with the sports coordinator to maximise benefits for sports clubs and their members? William, could you go for that one firstly, please?
Well, I believe the sponsorship and money funding is something that is lacking in Bradford. So getting the sports coordinator on board when we're dealing with going out to get sponsorship for clubs is what I think I'd probably do best with. Making sure that we're on the same page. So when we go out and we present a business plan, that we both understand that where we need the money for, and make sure that the money is channeled to what exactly we need. Thank you.
And John, please.
Well, in this situation, I guess working together would be the biggest benefit that we could have. Personally, I'd like to see sports teams and societies become more self-funding. I know there's some ideas going on in the media campaign at the moment for that, and I'd wholeheartedly behind that. I want to work with the sports coordinator and with the other SABs to get some stuff going, and that's how hopefully they'll be on board with that.
And Ramesh, please.
I've already talked about getting everybody to work together, so that's going to be a very important issue in my campaign. I want everyone to pull together because we are stronger together and we can't work independently, either on getting funds or getting sports on our side or our societies. We have to work as a unit, otherwise nothing will get done.
Okay, next question. How will you increase student involvement in sport off the pitch? Training coaches, officials, referees, etc. And John, could you go for that firstly?
It's a hard subject. Getting people trained up to coach and stuff like that is, well, a problem we came across when I was with the rowing club. It was one of our biggest problems. Help people, offer incentives, bring them into it, maybe do it through the union rather than each club individually, and hopefully get a good system going for training up officials and stuff like that. That's all I can offer, really. I'd have to look at each individual situation before making a decision.
Okay, and Ramesh, please.
I have to agree with John from one point of view. We have to work together with the union for this because we've had the same problem this year with fencing, and we've managed to find a coach and get a lot of our members qualified referees, which is really important in every sport. We have to get the union to look for places, courses, and try and support everyone to go to these courses because we'll spend less money if we get people going to the course rather than keep paying different official outside people to do stuff. We'll save money by doing this.
Okay, and William, please.
I think if we make sure that we win and people understand that being in Bradford and winning in Bradford is important to them, then people would want to become coaches in Bradford. For example, Katie Moore used to be a SAB in the union, and now she's back there being a coach for the ladies football. So it's something that we could work with, that if people get involved with the sports, they can then get the union to pay for coaching courses for them, and they become coaches for the union, for the university teams. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next question for the candidate standing for Sports and Societies Officer here at Hustings 2011. What problems do you think you will encounter in your role? Ramesh, could you start off on that one, please?
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of problems, firstly, with budget allocated to every club, and that needs to be looked at in individual cases, and also overall looking for the past. For example, some clubs might have gotten a lot more money this year. You have to look, okay, what did they spend that budget on? Will they need more or won't they need more? Other clubs might need a bigger budget this year. And another big problem that think I'm going to face is related to transport to home games, especially for, I know, rugby and football. So I'm going to try and tackle that one.
Okay, and William, please, if you could go for that one.
A big problem might probably be the restructuring of the society's federation and how they spend money and how the membership system works. Other than that, I could also think of emerging clubs and societies, so it would having to allocate a budget to cater for all these new clubs or societies. Thank you.
And John, please.
Yeah, like everyone said, money will be the issue. Obviously, there's only so much to go around, so getting what people need compared to what they want, obviously, is going to be the big issue. But new societies, transport, all of those issues are going to be really difficult, so that'll be what I'll focus on.
Okay, next question is, what does Team Bradford mean to you, and how will you push it forward in the next 12 months? William, could you answer that one firstly, please?
Team Bradford means a lot to me. It's close to my heart. I believe understanding that being in Bradford is probably one of the greatest experiences that we could all get is what Team Bradford means to me. And how I push it forward is getting a lot more merchandise for it. Scarves, tracksuits, I don't know, anything that could push, banners, wristwatches, anything that makes people belong in Bradford and be a family in Bradford, because I believe family is what counts. Thank you.
Thank you. And John, please.
To be 100% honest, I've been with the societies for the last 2 years. Team Bradford is not something I know an awful lot about. However, from what I've heard while I've been running for the campaign, it sounds like a fantastic idea. Getting everyone together, I hope to have a look at it if I get elected. Hopefully, I'll be able to bring it on, push it next year, but it'll take me looking at it before I can be certain.
And Ramesh, please.
Team Bradford's really important to me. It's all about bringing everyone together and bridging the gap between sports and societies. I've already talked about what I plan to do to get everybody working together and supporting each other, so I don't think there's anything else to say related to that.
Okay, right, the next question. What is your opinion on the long or short-term plan on Woodhall and its uncertainty? John, if you could go for that firstly, please.
Again, this is something that is obviously a sports issue. It's not something I know an awful lot about, and it's something I'd have to look into. But I know from when I was with sports that the Woodhall site was incredibly useful for the sports teams, so I'd be looking to... I don't know what's going on with it, so hopefully if there's a problem, I'm going to sort it out. If not, keep it going as is. I'll just have to have a look at the situation.
And Ramesh?
Woodhall is very important. We all know that now. We need floodlights and lit pitches and everything for that. It's really important, especially for the bigger clubs that need grass pitches. So it has to be looked at, and we have to try and get it sorted as soon as possible to help our teams closer, to have their home matches closer, to get to training easier, and to help them all around. Thank you.
And William? Yep, the question was, what is your opinion on the long or short-term plan on Woodhall and its uncertainty?
Well, if elected, my aim is to get Woodhall drainage sorted, the floodlights installed, the showers and change rooms sorted out, because I believe by the time we are ready for competition, that Woodhall should be ready. And I also believe that Woodhall should be good enough to hold any grass event without any glitches, because I've been in Woodhall and it's not ideal right now. So if we could get that sorted before the term starts, it'd be great, and it could last years. Thank you.
Okay, next question. What is your opinion of the new proposal to reform the membership of societies? Ramesh, if you could go for that firstly.
Difficult question. Well, like I've mentioned, societies are really important, and I think they need to be looked at individually. The new proposal, well, I don't really know much about that, to be perfectly honest, as I haven't attended societies meetings, so I can't comment on that at this time.
Okay, and William?
I've been involved slightly with the proposals, and I think with the way it's going, the membership system is something that could work, and the tier system that has been proposed is something that I was also in support of, and I believe it would create a lot more members. Two, it also create a lot more revenue for societies, which is the key thing the societies need. Thank you very much.
And John, please.
Societies and how they've been funded is an issue I've been involved in since I started doing exec for the Federation, so it's something that's close to my heart. However, I haven't seen the last proposal because due to society commitment I wasn't able to make the last council meeting. As I understand it, it'll be a good system. I hope it works. It needs looking over. It needs a lot of work, as last time we tried to restructure societies it didn't go very well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Okay, next question. What is your opinion on sports teams who have to pay for transport to home games which are off campus? William, could you go for that firstly, please?
That's a very good question, because my sport also happens to fall into that category of teams. One thing I'd say is the use of the U-bus. We've used it and it's worked great, and we're a pretty large team. Other than that, I could think that we could start looking into sponsorship that is particularly for home transportation, and if that works, then that's something that we should look to have as a continuation. Thank you very much.
Okay, and John, please.
Well, from my personal opinion, you shouldn't have to pay to go out and do what you love, but budgetary requirements, all of that, in some cases it has to happen. I would look into training up more minibus drivers, get the teams transporting themselves, help out from the union as much as possible, and like William said, possible ideas of sponsorship specifically geared towards that might help.
And Ravish, please.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. You can't expect a club to not be able to get to their home matches when some of them get paid to go to their away matches, and their home matches are actually further away. Like William said, the U-bus is probably one of the best ideas, and we have to train new drivers to help you guys get to your home matches, because it's unfair for you to have to pay out of your own money to get to your matches.
Okay, thank you. Right, we've got a two-part question here that was emailed to Ramo earlier. I'm going to do it as two separate questions. Right, the first question, and this is quite a long one, so please bear with me. At the moment, the policy behind getting students out of lectures on Wednesday is sketchy at best. The policy states that nothing should be scheduled after 1 p.m, but it seems that many courses and lecturers deliberately take advantage and put compulsory things on after 1 p.m. What will you do if elected to help combat this and help more students be able to represent Bradford in sport on a Wednesday? John, could you go for that one firstly?
Okay, well, I agree. We shouldn't have to go to lectures on a Wednesday afternoon. It should be a sport and society-based afternoon. In that case, I would be working with the other sabbatical officers, specifically academic affairs, to take this issue to the university and try and crack down on it, try and get a definitive message from the university and from the Chancellor's office on what we should be doing about this, and then implement it.
And Ravesh, please.
Yeah, this is an issue that's close to my heart, really, because we've had this problem over the past 3 years quite a lot. So we know we've tried to deal with it. We have to take this to the university and explain to them that sports clubs are actually representing the university, so they need to support us, they need to help us and let our members work. We're only asking for a Wednesday afternoon. We're not asking for much, so we have to clarify the situation, because it is a really big problem.
And William, please.
Similar to what John and Raj have said, if we can get the university to understand that Bradford students are representing them, then I think they will appreciate that having a Wednesday free is ideal, and they'll also work with the rest of the sabbatical team to make sure that the university can understand that representing Bradford is paramount to the hearts of the students. Thank you very much.
Okay, and the second question. What will you do to combat the trend of the university capping budgets for sports, but at the same time looking to increase growth in participation numbers, as both of these aspects do not naturally fit hand in hand? And Ramesh, could you go for that one firstly?
Yeah, that's difficult with the current economic climate, really. But the university has been trying to push towards getting more people involved in sports, but they've taken the funding from us. So this comes again and working with the academic affairs officer, bring this to the university council, and don't give up until we get what our students want, really, because the university gets paid to represent the students, and we get to be their spokesperson, really.
And William, if you could answer that question, please.
Part of my manifesto is working hand in hand with the students, and I believe that if we can, as a student body, get to the university and make them realise that funding is key to running sports and societies in this university, then I think the university should be able to understand that this is a big issue with students in Bradford University. So I think it would work if we all go to university together as a whole. United we stand, divided we fall. Thank you.
Okay, and John, if you could answer that one, please.
Again, it's the same issue. It's really big. We need to go to the university. We need to sort this out. Part of my manifesto is coming out and talking to you guys and finding out what you want and need. And another part of that would be getting you guys involved in this kind of situation, getting you to come and talk to the university with me, getting an actual massive movement going and sorting this out, because it is an issue that needs to be sorted out. It is something that needs to be fixed, and hopefully if I get elected it will be.
Okay, you're listening to Answers to Questions to Candidate Standing for Sports and Societies Officer. The next question is, the position is Sports and Societies, but do you feel that students would benefit more if there were separate positions for both, i.e. a Sports Officer and a Societies Officer? If yes, what would you do? And William, could you go for that one firstly, please?
Somehow, I think the experience you get as a sport or the experience you get as a society is something that can go hand in hand. So if you have the two together, it makes a richer person. And I speak from experience, because having an experience of being a president of a society and being a secretary of a sports club has made me a richer person. So I don't think we should divide the two positions. I think sports and societies officer is really what the university needs to go forward. Thank you.
Okay, and John, if you could tackle that, please.
Like William, I've been high up exec on both sides of the fence, as it were, and I agree with him. It does, having worked in both positions, is a massive benefit to know both sides. However, I can see the benefit of splitting them up. The workload in general to do both is, as I gather, insane, and being able to split those and focus your energies on on the issues for each would be a good thing. However, I'd probably stick with having one.
Thank you, and Raresh, please.
Like my fellow candidate said, I think we should stick with one position. I've been a president of a society and a sports club, so I know how it feels in both sides of the fence. It's a really good experience. It's part of the university experience. It's part of what I'm trying to do with Team Bradford, bring everybody together. So I think it's important to keep this position as one single position.
Okay, next question. How would you support relatively new societies? And John, if you could go for that firstly, please.
One of the good things about this university is how many societies we have, and that keeps growing. It's one of the best things about the place. It's one of the things I love about the place. So one of my chief aims would be to support new societies, give them what they need, build them up, keep them going, and helping them in any way I could.
And Raresh?
I've actually been in the position of setting up a new society, so I know how it is both difficult to get all the funding you need and to start up trying to get members. So I'm going to try and advertise them and get them as much support as possible so they can build some members and hopefully become a big society in the university in the future.
Okay, and William, please.
Well, similar to Raj, I've actually founded a society here, and I think if we tackle the whole issue and how funding is for societies, what the SF is doing right at the moment, it encourages people to get involved with societies, and it would break that whole £100 cap that new societies have, and it increase more societies and more relevant societies in Bradford University. Thank you very much.
Okay, next question. Do you think the rule stating that you cannot buy food or drink, assuming on the budget, should be changed? Raresh, if you could start with that one, please.
To be perfectly honest, no, I don't think so, because the budget we give you is to help you get kit, help you get to matches. If you want to buy food and drink for that, it'll limit the funds available that is already limited. So no, I don't think that's a good idea. If you want food and drink for your matches, I think if you love your sport, you can grab that from your own pocket.
Okay, and William, please. I think it's just in general. Societies? It's that one.
Right.
Oh, is it for just sports or just societies? Oh, I'm just checking out. Yeah, mainly towards societies.
Right, that's something that we've tried to tackle with the SF, which is Societies Federation, and I think it should be changed, because part of entertaining your members or guests as societies is the whole hospitality, which is food and drinks, and if we restrict that, then you don't tend to grab the same audience that you can do. So if we can change that and allow for some level of hospitality to be given to societies, then it would make the events a lot better. Thank you very much.
Okay, and John, please.
Tricky issue. You don't want societies just spending all their budget on food if it's not what they're there for. You wouldn't expect the role-play society to set out a buffet every time you go and to roll dice with them. However, if it's a situation where that is one of the core tenets of the society, like the Real Ale Society, there should be something in the budget which provides towards that, because that's what they're there for, and that there should be something involved in that, in the wording of that law.
You're listening to Answers to Questions to the Sports and Societies Officer. Afterwards, there will be a buffet laid on and real ale from the... No. I'm having my head shaking there. No, not well. Shaking at me. I know what I'm talking about. Right, next question. Allocating budgets is one of the hardest parts of your job. Will your links with your own clubs or societies make this difficult for you? William, could you start that one, please?
No. I've told them already, if I do win this role, I'd be tougher than the previous sub officer. So I don't believe I'd have any bias to a club or society that I'm affiliated with, and I think I'll be able to do this job objectively without any bias. Thank you very much.
Okay, and John, please.
One word answer, no. I'm very dedicated in what I do. If I've been chosen to do something, especially by you guys in an election event, that's what I'm there for. Yeah, I have ties to societies, yeah, I've got ties to sports, but what I'm there is to make their experience better. If that means I have to be tough on them about something, I have to be tough on them. The bottom line is helping them in the long run.
And Ramesh, please.
Again, definitely not. I'm here, if I get elected, to represent all of you, so I can't look at one society that I've had ties with and say, oh, yeah, you definitely need more money. No, I have to look at everybody as a whole and who needs the money more.
Okay. Coming up to the last few questions here on Hustings 2011. How are you going to solve the lack of attendance at Society Federation meetings? John, could you go for that firstly?
I don't think punishment is the way forward. That's the kind of vibe we were getting this year with Societies Federation. If you don't turn up, you get your budget slashed. That's not the way to do it. You make it so that people want to come, so that important things are being... Make it certain that they know that the future of their societies rests on the decisions they make in Federation, not that they're going to get their budget slashed, but that they get to have a say, they get to control what happens, and myself going out and talking to the societies in general will bring that home to them.
Okay, and Ramesh, please. The question was, how are you going to solve the lack of attendance at Society Federation meetings?
Well, this is a problem. You have to let them know that, like John said, they can make the decision, so it's important for them to show up, and it affects the society if they show up. I don't agree with cutting their budget because, well, okay, some society might actually have a legitimate reason not to attend, but me talking to every society will hopefully encourage this to increase in attendance.
Okay, and William, please.
Well, part of what I'm thinking to propose is to have an anonymous suggestion box somewhere around here, and if societies can have that and drop that in, and then I can understand where they're coming from. But if that's not the case, then I believe some level of, not punishment, but some level of let's say punishment for this case, over years on societies where a warning is put in place first, and if that still continues where they don't attend, then maybe some temporary freeze on their account. That way they understand that it's important to attend these meetings because it's for the good of their members and not just the execs. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next question is, what makes you a good candidate? It's the one we've asked for them all, so we're going to ask it for this one. Raresh, if you could start that one, please. What makes you a good candidate?
What makes me a good candidate? Well, the experience I've got working with clubs and societies, the passion I've got for sports. I'm involved in a lot of different sports now. I'm tackling a master's, a part-time job, and I still find a lot of time to go to training, go to competitions, and different events. I'm ranked 200 in the country in fencing. I'm trying my best to keep playing sports, even though I've got so many other things to do. Sports and societies are part of my being and my experience here at university. So the experience in this, I think, makes me a good candidate.
And William, please, what makes you a good candidate?
Well, 3 words. I've got passion, I've got experience, I'm looking to tackle funding for both sports and societies, and I'll add something else. I'm glad to serve you. Thank you.
Okay, and John, please. What makes you a good candidate?
4 years as a member of sports and societies, 4 years as an executive member, a year working in an office environment and out with people at Bradford, which gives me experience to do the same thing here. Passion, knowledge, experience with what you guys need and how the system works. Thank you.
And the penultimate question for this evening for the Sports and Societies officers, candidates. What, in your view, is an active society? And William, could you answer that firstly, please?
In my view, an active society is one that has execs members coming to SF meetings, catering to the needs of its members and meeting its policies that it set out to meet when they fill out the form. If they meet what they say they're going to, if they're doing what they say they're going to do for the students, then I think that's an active society. Thank you.
And John, if you could answer that one next, please.
An active society is one that does what it set out to do, that serves the students who want that service, who does what it's there for. If a society's not doing what it is, it's not a society. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And Raresh, please.
Well, I have to agree with my fellow candidates here. An active society is a group that meets what they've said they're going to do when they were founded, that has members, that has exec members showing up to meetings, that has exec members that are interested in what their members do and receive. I think that's what an active society is.
Those were the questions to the candidates for Sports and Societies officer. So we don't have time to answer all the questions. I hope that was a wide range for you. There is only, of course, one question we can end Hustings on, as always, which is the delightful question. I'm even going to lift the 30-second limit because we want those enjoyment. What colour jelly baby would you be and why? And John, it's your turn. Firstly, for that question, but please don't take ours. This isn't a thesis.
Jelly baby, jelly baby, jelly baby. Red. I like red. My girlfriend doesn't. She wouldn't eat me.
Fair enough. And Raresh, what colour jelly baby would you be and why?
I have to say red again. Well, why? Because it's scientifically proven that people that wear red usually win, so we want to be winners, so red, definitely.
Okay, and William, what colour jelly baby would you be and why?
I think we're all on the same wavelength as red. But it's because I heart Bradford. Thank you.
If you're listening in Student Central or on Ramaire and you're a red jelly baby, we advise you leave the building by the exits now. Right, you've listened to answers to questions to the candidates for Sports and Societies officer. We're now going to go finally to the summation speeches for them, which is 1 minute each in reverse order. So William, you're up first. This is the summation speech for William Pre-Abuo, and your 1 minute starts now.
Well, in the words of John F. Kennedy, he says, ask not. And I say, ask not what your students' union can do for you, but ask what you can do for your students' union. And with that being said, I say, great minds think alike. I'm thinking vote William. What are you thinking? Thank you.
That was a summation speech there for William Pre-Abuo. Next to speak, this is a summation speech for Raresh Vetelanu. Your 1 minute summation starts now.
I'm going to keep this short and say, we are stronger together, so if you vote for me, I'll make a stronger union. Thank you.
That was a summation speech for Raj Vetelanu, standing for Sports and Society Officer. Finally to speak, this is a summation speech for candidate John Carter. Your 1 minute summation speech starts now.
Vote for experience, vote for someone who knows what they're doing, vote for someone who will push your funding as far as I can, vote for someone who will get you media events, who will push events downstairs, who will serve you in every way I possibly can. Vote for John Carter, vote for the person who will let you do what you want to do.
That was a summation speech there for John Carter, standing for Sports and Society Officer. You've heard the opening speeches, the questions to and the answers from, and the summation speeches from all the candidates there for the position of Sports and Society Officer. There were John Carter, Ravish Vetelanu, William Priyabubo, and Ron reopened nominations. Could I have a round of applause for everybody who has stood up today and yesterday at Hustings? Over the past couple of days, we've heard from all the candidates standing in the elections. You can, of course, vote at ubuonline.co.uk/elections from midnight tonight. If you head over to that web address or pick a manifesto booklet up here in Student Central, you can see the notice of poll, all the manifestos, the YouTube videos. Head over to Facebook, ask your candidates questions and find out what they think on the policies or the issues that matter to you. Make sure you vote in the elections that start at midnight tonight and go until midnight at the end of Thursday. Make sure you tell all the students at the University of Bradford, make sure we get a load of votes. Every single vote makes the University of Bradford Students' Union even stronger, so we need your support to make this a fantastic election. Good luck to all the candidates in their campaigning, good luck to all the students voting and making up their decisions, and good luck to everybody standing in the elections. Don't forget, voting obviously starts at midnight for 48 hours. You can check out all the podcasts of Hustings online from yesterday straight away, and of course all these ones later in the evening. If you have any questions to the Elections Committee, Michael will be more than happy to take those for you tonight. But this is a big thank you to everyone who's joined us here in Student Central. Thank you to everyone who's been listening at Ramair. Also a big thank you to all the candidates who've spoken yesterday and today, to everyone who's been in the audience, to Michael for sorting out the questions, to Kat Doherty, the returning officer, for being there, to Andrew, Dave, Ian, Rachel, all sorts of people that have been involved with bringing this to you at Ramair. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you for listening. Make sure you vote over the next 2 days at the UBU elections. Thank you and have a great evening. And remember, vote!